We were so close to falling out of escrow on this one. The buyer's agent quit, the buyer's lender quit, but we were not about to let our seller down. Okay, so it's good to always look back on what went well and what didn't go so well in a transaction. So here's what happened. We were representing the seller on this transaction. We were upgrading our seller from their current situation to more living space and to a better area as well. We were able to obtain a buyer through another agent, and we were able to negotiate a deal and get into escrow. Well, we cross-qualified, meaning we talked to the buyer's lender. Since we're representing the seller, we want to do everything in our power to make sure that that transaction is going to go through all the way to the end, right, and actually close. So at the beginning of the transaction, we spoke with the lender. Everything seemed to be good. They had reviewed their income documentation and all that good stuff. So we really were not worried about any kind of issues that were going to come up. Well, of course, issues always come out in a transaction. We were 95% of the way through to closing this. We were at the very end, the finish line. And what happens? We get a call from the lender saying, hey, the income verification didn't come in. An income verification is something that takes place towards the end of the transaction. So even though you have everything done, all the paperwork done, everything's negotiated, repairs, all this stuff that the buyer and seller agreed upon and all is taken care of, now the bank does a verification of employment and a verification of income to make sure, yeah, you showed us taxes and you showed us this, that, and the other to make sure that you qualify for this place. However, we need to make sure from your employer that that is still the case as of right now, that you still make this kind of money. So what happened? It turned out that they make less money now than what they did the past couple years. So that messed up their whole qualification. So the lender calls us and tells us, hey, they don't make enough money to buy this place now. It was very borderline though, so they barely didn't make enough money. The lender pretty much quit. This was with a US bank, I believe. So the lender was US bank, they quit, they said we can't do it. The buyer's agent pretty much took the word of the buyer's lender and said, well, what are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do. Well, we were not gonna let this deal fall through. So we have a bunch of connections with various lenders, right? And we have lenders that are very competitive and sometimes have guidelines that are not as strict. Well, in this particular case, we needed a lender that could close super fast. Why? Because our current seller, we were upgrading them, as I said earlier, to a newer living situation. Well, we had them in escrow in that new living, that new place, right? We had them in escrow over there. So we have an escrow here and an escrow over there. And if this escrow falls through with the seller, he now can't buy his place over there, and those people don't get their money. So it's like a whole chain effect here, right? We had to make sure that we close this deal within a timely manner, because these people were already under the impression that the upsell that they're gonna have their place sold and our seller was gonna buy their place, right? So here's what ended up happening. We had to negotiate a deal where we had to buy down the rate, right? So we spoke with our lender. Our lender said, yeah, I can close them in 2 weeks and we should be good to go. We just need to basically give them a credit to buy down the interest rate so that their income does come through and they do officially qualify for this place, because now the interest rate's lower, the payment's lower, therefore they qualify. So we had to come up with this solution, and that's why it's really important to work with real estate professionals that have experience, that have connections to different lenders and different people that have different ideas that can make the deal go through. Because as you see in this example, both buyer's agent and lender said, we gotta fall out, this can't be done. So what happened? We ended up closing in a couple of weeks. Our seller was extremely happy. They're now in their new place and everybody was extremely happy. Even the buyer was happy that we were able to bring that solution. We weren't even representing the buyer, we were representing the seller. So the buyer was super happy. So that's what we do in this business. We try to make things happen, especially in this market where interest rates are just crazy right now. And it's really pushing a lot of people out of the market. You gotta be creative, and that's why it's important to work with a really good experienced real estate professional team, all right? So God bless you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to us, motherandsonrealestate.com. God bless.